Korea was shattered when it became the most controversial military base in the country.
Illegal THAAD out of town.
Hundreds of police officers descend on Seongju to keep local protesters away from the THAAD missile defense system base.
You're blocking the road and preventing residents from returning to their homes, but you expect to wander freely around the village. How ironic is that?
The atmosphere is tense, but the villagers and their supporters vow to continue the fight against THAAD's deployment right on their doorstep.
이게 그렇게 단순한.
The more I learn about THAAD, the more I realize that this is not just about a weapon. It's going to have a major effect on our national security and could even become a threat to peace in Northeast Asia. That's why I'm against it.
The protesters' prayers failed to prevent the deployment of the U.S. missile defense system at the end of April, way ahead of schedule. The equipment was brought in without warning and under the cover of darkness. Even still, large crowds gathered to oppose the deployment. The $1 billion system combines a powerful radar and missiles designed to intercept and destroy North Korean missiles in mid-flight. But it isn't only THAAD's potential to damage regional peace that concerns local farmers.
여기 보시면 볼들이 이렇게 날아다니잖아요. 5.6km까지.
I'm afraid that THAAD's electromagnetic waves disrupt the bees' ability to fly. If this is the case, bees won't be able to pollinate, which means we won't be able to grow any fruit.
그것이 뭐 저희가 얘기하는 게 아니라 미국의 육군 교본에 이미 나와 있는 거라는 거죠.
The U.S. and South Korea insist THAAD will play a purely defensive role against North Korean missiles. But its deployment has fomented a diplomatic crisis with China, which regards it as a threat to regional stability.
미국이 사드를 배치하려고 하는 지역은 바로 여기입니다. 그런데 사드가 여기 배치되면은 이 북한에서
This is where THAAD is stationed in South Korea. It can detect missile activity not only in North Korea, but also nuclear weapons in the eastern part and northeastern part of China.
탐지할 수 있기 때문에
This is why China and Russia regard THAAD as a threat to their national security.
심각한 안보상의 위협으로 간주하고 있습니다.
South Korea is coming under economic pressure from China, its biggest trading partner. About 2/3 of South Korean companies that do business in China have seen a decline in their turnover. New episodes of South Korean dramas have failed to appear on Chinese websites, and K-pop bands have been forced to cancel concert tours here. This shopping district in Seoul is usually packed with Chinese tourists, but not today.
I was a little bit worried about it because the first time I came to here and I applied the visa, and this is a little bit, I think it's a little bit difficult. Here we cannot see lots enough Chinese people, so I think it's better for shopping.
The Chinese government is believed to have pressured travel agencies into canceling tours to South Korea. As a result, the number of Chinese tourists has fallen by 40%.
중국의 사드 보복의 영향을 뉴스를 통해서
When I first saw the news about the possible impact of China's reprisals against THAAD, I thought there'd be a drop in the number of tour groups.
그 이후로 그냥 여행사를
But the pressures also caused a drop in the number of tourists who travel to South Korea independently.
영향을 확실히
There are practically no Chinese tourists here at the moment.
거의 전무하다고 볼 수 있습니다.
Against that backdrop, THAAD became a key issue during South Korea's presidential election, called after the impeachment of Park Geun-hye. The man expected to replace her, Moon Jae-in, has criticized the defense system's sudden deployment, but says only that he will review the system if he becomes president. After a decade of sanctions and isolation, Moon has also called for engagement with North Korea, a move that could put him on a diplomatic collision course with U.S. President Donald Trump.